Premier Media has come a long way, and we have done great shows. We have had beautiful conversation with different people. I am just blessed to be in this position where I get to interview, I get to talk to different people, but I haven't done this alone. I have Dr. Sombo Muzata, who has played a very crucial role. She has helped to bring the guests that we have been talking to for quite some time on this show. And Dr. Sombo, we are almost at the end of the year. What can you say about 2022?
Yeah, I think it's been very exciting. It's been a lot that's been going on this year. I mean, of course, for me, at a personal level, it involved moving from one city to a whole different city and starting a whole new job. But I'm not going to
Mhm,
talk about that now. I think
mhm,
this is about Premier Media and what we've been doing. So I think it's been exciting to be part of Premier Media this year and to just think now about what we have done. I think we did the Africa Freedom Day
mhm.
conversation. That was very, very good. It was very, very
Yes,
exciting. We had people from different countries in Africa
different countries,
participate with
yes.
us. Yeah, so we had people from the Congo DRC, from Zimbabwe, and of course, people from Zambia, and that was a
Liberia,
good conversation. And
Guinea,
Liberia, yes,
yeah,
Kenya,
just so
yeah,
many people.
so we've just had a lot of people participating, and Africa after the Africa Freedom Day celebration, I think we did the Immigrant Heritage Month.
Yes.
That was a very, very exciting show just to get to hear people's perspectives on how they feel as immigrants here in the U.S. and also to reflect on their contribution that they make back home and just their hopes and expectations. Just a sense of building community. I really, really
Yeah,
love
yeah, and
anchoring that
also,
conversation.
yeah, yeah, and also, Dr. Son, because I think, like from the African perspective, as Africans, I think this was the first time
Yeah.
that there was something like that. Because I think the Latin community or Latinx, the Hispanics, they have been celebrating the Heritage Month. So I think, like for us to showcase what Africa can do and has done, I think it was it was a great show. It was a
Yeah.
great show.
I really, really loved that. And then the other one, which was very mind sobering, was the food crisis,
Oh
with the
yes, oh
war
yes.
happening between Ukraine and Russia. And I know you've done other conversations around the war. So, with the war happening between Ukraine and Russia,
Mhm,
and how, for a while, people in Africa and, you know, I mean, pretty much, I also was thinking, well, the war is going to happen. We'll probably have some economic impact somewhere.
mhm,
But, like you think you're going to have economic impact, and this economic impact is going to hit you because you're connected to the global financial system. But
mhm.
then the conversation stops from being just about the economic impact, it becomes a conversation about the stomach.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I think when you have nothing in your stomach,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't do anything. So
yeah,
food
yeah,
is critical for
yeah,
just for people to, I mean, to live and to survive.
yeah.
So that was a great show. I love the way you anchored that thing. Talk about the guests that we had. I think we had a very great panel.
Yeah, yeah. So we had Bibi. We had Bibi. She's an expert in nutrition. She's a nutritionist.
Mhm,
She's a graduate from Cornell. Big girl.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah. And then we also had Oxfam.
Judy.
Oxfam president, yeah, sorry, Oxfam Southern Africa director, Dilas Judge, did a great job to give, her perspectives
Mhm,
about, the food crisis and poverty and just food in Africa. And
mhm,
I really, really like one of the things that she said about, the complexity of this matter that, the people that are getting in the airplane to go and attend these meetings, to go and talk about issues at the table, um, you know, they're financing these processes,
mhm,
and
mhm,
so how do you, where does your independent voice come out? I think that's sort of what was, sort of really coming out to me from her her conversation around that. And then we also had an entrepreneur, the young lady from
South Africa.
yes, from South Africa. I think she really gave very good perspectives in terms of highlighting the challenges that uh, agripreneurs have. She talked about the work that she's done, massive contributions to her community, and just ensuring this household food security, but highlighting the challenges that are there and just how the global
Mhm.
system, does not really facilitate at a much higher level entry of certain African food products, and
Yeah.
just how, can you expand the food market on the continent. So I really, really liked that conversation. I loved writing the concept notes and just thinking through, food is mostly a matter that is connected to women and children, poverty in
Mhm.
general. So I really, really loved having that conversation, and it was an all-female conversation. So I really, really liked that.
Yeah, yeah. I think having these conversation, having these folks from different parts of the world, I think it sort of helps to better inform the conversation, because I think when you're only looking at, let's say, Zambia or one particular African country, and it sort of has that narrow uh, approach or perspective to it. But I think I was happy that we had people from different parts of the world to share their thoughts on the same. So let me ask you, which one was your favorite show?
I think the food crisis was my favorite show. Uh, yeah, so far, um, it it it. I mean, it was just a very important conversation to have at that time, and few
Mhm.
people were having that conversation, few people were talking about that. So being able to come in the forefront and bring these experts, I think the
Mhm.
level of expertise of the people that we had on that panel was really great. It just gives me so much joy. So and just, it wasn't an issue that anybody could say this is not in my backyard. Suddenly it's an issue that affected everybody. So I really, really liked having that conversation with high-powered women.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So what's like how's the future looking like? I mean, what plans do we have for the future going going forward?
So in terms of programming, I think there's a lot that we still have to do. I think we have World AIDS Day coming up soon on December 1. We need to have that conversation. You work in HIV/AIDS. You're program manager for the pre-exposure prophylaxis program in Indiana, and so you talk HIV/AIDS every single day. And at some point, it was thought that we've been making progress in the fight against HIV, but we've seen that a number of cases have started, coming up
Yeah,
in different parts
yeah.
of the world. So we definitely need to have that conversation as we think about December 1. And then I think also we have the US Africa Summit. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, that's huge.
So,
That's
yeah,
huge.
so we have the US Africa Summit that's going to come up December 13th to 15th. That's a high level summit that's been called by the White House. And really, the voice behind that has been Nigerian born entrepreneur Tony Elumelu. And he's the one that, he wrote this OPD in a number of, and it was carried by a number of news outlets, major news outlets here in the
Mhm.
US.
Mhm.
And, a little, not even longer, the pronouncement was made that there was going to be the US Africa Summit. I think it's the right time that this is happening. So we're going to have an excellent conversation about that. Amazing speakers,
Oh yeah, yeah.
amazing speakers.
Chat a little bit. Who's gonna be coming on the panel?
So we have confirmations from Professor Van Wood. He's a professor in international business at Virginia Commonwealth University, and he's a Philip Morris Chair, Professor of International Business. He works in the Department of Marketing, and then we also he's very passionate about Africa. He's done a lot of work, in South America, and he's trying to work on transferring some of that knowledge and skill to be applied to Africa. So he's my mentor. I have worked with him for a very long time I've worked with Professor Wood since 2016, 2017. So I'm really, really honored that he'll be able to have this conversation and share with us his perspectives on US Africa Summit. And then we also have Professor Harvey White. So Dr. White is Professor Emeritus at the University of Delaware in the Biden School of Public Affairs. Yes,
Mhm.
so that's where he's Professor Emeritus, and he's African American. So he's going to be part of this great conversation. I can't wait to hear his perspectives. And then we also have Dr. Peter Haruna. So Dr. Peter Haruna is originally from Ghana. He's a professor in Texas at the university there, University of Dallas, Texas, I think. It's going to be an excellent conversation that we're going to
Yeah.
have. He's going to share his perspectives. He's done a lot of work, international development work in Ghana, and he's done a lot of public administration research that relates to the entire continent. So those are the speakers that we have confirmed, and we have a few more that we hope are going to confirm. If they don't confirm, I'm certain that the three that we have are going to do justice to this conversation. So
Oh
I
yeah.
just want to urge people to look out for that.
Yeah, that's a powerful lineup. Powerful lineup. Hopefully, we can squeeze in a female speaker. Hopefully, we can. Do we have any females who are like we're
I did
hoping to hear from?
I did send out invitations, so I haven't heard back from them.
Mhm.
So part of me are like, hey, are you ignoring me or what's going on here? That's a joke. But yeah, I did send out invitations to female speakers. I will keep knocking on the doors, and I hope somebody comes up and is able to speak on the panel. But before we end this conversation, could you tell us about what's happening with Leadership Files? What do we have, and what was your best show for the year, and what are you looking forward to?
Oh yeah, thank you, Doctor. I think like on Leadership File, it's a unique segment where we highlight leadership. So we look at leaders from different parts of the world, and I was just amazed. I was touched by some of the shows because we had people joining, for instance, directly from Togo. Togo, we spoke to the deputy mayor of a town somewhere there in Togo, and we had people joining all the way from Namibia. We had people joining from, I mean, Ghana, and we featured people from the country Guinea, and obviously folks back in Zambia and other leaders. So I was very, very excited just to have this platform to highlight the what it takes to be a leader, because I think we're seeing so many things happening, and I think the show, it was designed just to bring leaders to the forefront to share their thoughts and just to tell us what they are doing and things like that, just to sort of like highlight the great men and women who are at least helping to lead. So I think one of the shows that I like the most, I mean, I think I like them all. I like them all, but I think there are some shows that stood out. But I think I'll be able to talk about that. I think next time. So one of the shows that I think I can mention for now is I like the conversation that I had with the deputy mayor, Dr. John Emmanuel Nyanyo. So he actually invited me to go to Togo because he says in Togo they have great fish. So I think I look forward just to go try out the fish uh, uh, from Togo. So I think as we are moving forward, hopefully we'll continue, but I think we're going to scale back a little bit because I think we've done a leadership file almost every week, I think, at the beginning. But I think to have that consistency, we are going to have at least 2 shows per month, 2 shows per month. So I'm just looking forward to the great leaders who are going to come on the show to share their perspectives. Of course, we have great leaders like the one that I know who just won the Leadership Excellency Award. I mean, it's just, I think that she's going to be the first leader. Do you know who that person might be?
I need to check around. Honestly, I have no idea. Could you tell us who that is?
Oh no, I think that's a mystery. That's a mystery. So we
Okay.
want our people to tune in and check us out on premiermedia.com. And also we have our YouTube channel. So we encourage you to subscribe so at least you'll be able to get the notification of new shows. And also we have a Facebook page. So we if you're on Facebook, at least like our page so at least you're kept informed of the great things that Dr. Sombo and I are working on.
Great. Awesome. Just make sure before you go to Togo that you learn a few words in French, sentences actually. It will save you right.
I think I can greet someone. Comment ça
Okay.
va?
Ça
Comment
va
ça va?
bien? Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I know.
Okay, so I think that's enough. So if you can have a few more sentences, that would be great.
I'll work on that. I'll work on that.
Okay. All right.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great conversation with Dr. Sombo Muzata. She is the person who is helping me to uh, uh, align this Premier Media on this side of things where we are looking at different platforms. And also we have the show the audio version, which is the primetime radio show where we team up with Brother Warren and we team up with Nancy. So that's a weekly show which airs every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we encourage folks to spend your evening with us. It's every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. There are two ways of listening. You can dial the number 516-387-1829, and also this number is right there on our page. So if you check out on our Facebook page, you'll see how you can link with us, spend your evening on Wednesday because we share some. Just it's therapeutic to. Wouldn't you say that, Dr. Sambo?
Honestly, I'll be very honest with you. The reason why I even do Premier Media work, like, community service, yes, this is part of service,
Hmm.
hosting these high profile conversations on development, in Africa and around the world. It's therapy. It's therapy to me. My background is in international development. I worked in that space for a long time. So I just want to continue being connected with that part of my past. So I really
Hmm.
love this, and I'm so honored that you've given me the opportunity to work with you on this. So thanks a lot. I owe you one.
Oh yeah, I'm actually honored to work with you, and I'm
Yeah.
just honored to work with you. So the other show that I just didn't make mention here is we have Rare Revolution. Rare
Yeah.
Revolution is a very hard show because it talks about the controversy or the two paradigms or the two schools of thought. It's religion and evolution. How did we get to where we are? Were we created in the image of God, just like the scriptures say? Or did we get here by processes of evolution? So that's one show that we dive into the science, the history of all these matters. So we encourage you to check us out on our website and check us out on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. So I think this is it, Dr. Sombo. We look forward to continuing having you come for these therapies so that at least you can take in your therapeutic, because I know teaching is so much work. It's I'm sure
Yeah.
you get stressed out. So it's
Yeah.
just a pleasure to have you, Dr. Sombo,
Mhm.
and be part of this. And of course, Brother Warren, who is public intellectual, and of course, not forgetting Nancy. She is taking a break because she's working on some studies. But I'm just happy that I have a great team who are helping to build this Premier Media. So if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Join the movement. So thank you for now, and thank you, Dr. Sombo.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.